welcome back, everybody. I was thinking we're going to do a little thing on the Shlosh Eser Midos. Okay, Shlosh Eser Midos. It's very interesting because as I've shown you the sefer of Elu Dvarim that I published or wrote last year. Very deep, very interesting, and a lot of deep thought and a lot of learning going on there. And after Lekai Neshama, I went. There's last week with Sarah. You go into talking about the Torah and everything. And for some reason, while writing it, I said, you know what? I'm going to write about the Yud Gimel Midos. It was chapter 13, and I don't know, something led me there. And it's so interesting because now that I'm going through that sefer and explaining part by part in very short detail and in 10-minute videos, I find myself over here finishing Lekai Neshama, getting to the Yud Gimel Midos, the 13 Midos, and we're going to start saying it every day with Slichas right now with Rosh Hashanah. So it's interesting how the world works. There's so many fascinating things. Like this week, I had a wedding. I had a wedding to go to, and I told my wife that I'll be going straight to the wedding. After my nightly schedule, I'll be going straight there. Turns out, I make it home, I park my car, and as I show up to the house, I'm like, oh, the wedding, I forgot to go. And I see my wife coming out of the house with her sweater on, and I'm like, are you going on a walk? And she's like, no, do you want to go on a walk? I'm like, no, I was supposed to go to a wedding. And turns out I skipped the wedding, and we ended up going on a walk. Next thing you know, I end up bumping into someone, and I have a place to be for Shabbos. So, very interesting how things work, right? We leave the house 5 minutes late, and we happen to bump into a friend we haven't seen in a long time. And everything works in its perfect place and location. Hashem runs the world with 13 midos. And it's very interesting to note that Rabbi Yishmael Omer, we say it before Hoidu every day, Rabbi Yishmael Omer, Rabbi Yishmael says there are 13 ways to learn the Torah, 13 rules that you could apply to the Torah. So when you look at the Torah with a coding type of view, you look at it in coding, you say, oh, if I use this input over here and I put the same input somewhere else, somehow these two connect. They are like hyperlinks one to another. If you click this, if you click Chamisha Asar by Pesach, you'll be linked to Chamisha Asar by Sukkot. And that's called a Gzeira Shava. And then there's Kal V'chomer. If I have two ideas that have similar things, I say like Meiser and Truma, like tithing, like giving tithes, right? Teething, right? And Truma, which is taking a portion and giving it to the Kohen, they're very similar. They're giving away from your own money, one to the Kohen, one to the Levi, one to yourself to eat in Yerushalayim, or one to the poor person. You start saying, hey, wait a second, those two are very similar because they're the same concept. So maybe let's apply things from the stringent one to the more easier one. So for example, if I tell my 10-year-old it's time for bed, my 7-year-old should understand, hey, if the 10-year-old got to go to bed, I got to go to bed. Unless the 10-year-old got to go to bed because he has a very early date tomorrow, so that's why he has to go to sleep. So we could learn the Torah in such ways and say, okay, can we compare these two because this is more stringent and this is not? And that's why we should learn from the stringent one for the lower one. Or should we say, no, the stringent one is only that way because it has a particular meaning to it. It needs that specific thing. And we go through Binyanav, and all Klal Pratik Klal, all these things, and that we don't have to say all the types of things. The Torah is not going to go and say when you eat an apple, an orange, a pomegranate, and a fig, and grapes. It's just going to say when you eat fruits, and it's going to enumerate 2 or 3 of them. And we know because we said the word kol in the beginning, and we say the word kol in the end, it's a Klal Pratik Klal, and we just learn everything that's in this little subject. Like we speak about grapes and fruit, grapes and figs, we understand all other types of fruit. But then we have to say, wait a second, grapes and figs are from the seven minim, the 7 kinds of fruit that Israel is blessed with. So we say, oh, only those fruits. Okay, so we go through all those different types of things, and those are 13. There are 13 ways of learning the Torah. If you look at it as a code or as a codex or as a big index file, and we start reading it in such a way. Hashem created the world b'shlosh esrei midos, 13 different midos. Each of these midos is a different way of controlling the world. There is Hashem, which is rachamim, which is care and love, and the other Hashem, the Gemara says Hashem, Hashem, this is before you do a sin and after you do the sin. Hashem is always going to be there for you. We spoke about it in another video where no matter if you fail, no matter if you succeed, Hashem is always going to be standing there and saying, okay, I've seen you, I've watched you do this, and doesn't matter, I'm still here for you. I'm still going to take care of you. There are these atheists who say if God really exists, and then the elevator should crash if I use it on Shabbos. No, Hashem is still there. He wants you to learn. He wants you to go through these experiences, and He gives you those opportunities for you to either hold yourself back or fall and get yourself back up afterwards and know that it's not the end. And Keil Racham V'chanan, Keil is the strong one, and we see the word Keil, Aleph Lamed, which is from the word Eile, those, right? So there's a Gemara in Mesechus Baba Basra, Daf Peiches, that explains that the word Eil means strong. It means Micha Moicha Be'elam Hashem, or Eile Moyav, those the strong ones. The Gemara uses a different pasuk from Yecheskel, that Bavel is going to go in and take and exile all the strong ones from Israel. I forgot the pasuk exactly, but it's Peiches Amad Beis in the bottom. Very interesting Toysos there as well, by the way, if you want to look into it. Talks about Rosh Hashanah and about Netzav and Vayelech, why the parshas of this week, that I'm recording this video, why the parshas of this week are actually before Rosh Hashanah every year. Tich Lashana Mekil Lasea, the year should end. So we see the word Keil means strong, and we could use all those midos in our life in order to make the world better. We are created in the image of Hashem, and when we use the midos of Hashem, when we use His attributes and His traits, characteristics, we form a world just like He did. He created the world in these 13 ways. We could learn things from one thing from the next. We could make Gezerah Shavas, we could make Kal V'choimers from things in this world, just as we see in the Torah, and just how, because the entire world was created in that way. And when we use those traits, when we follow the ways of Hashem, we go and we build worlds. And we see the word Keil is strong, and we could use that strength to keep ourselves back from doing things that we shouldn't, because we have that ability. We are built with that midah inside of us. Racham B'chanan, which is being merciful and being graceful. Erech Apayim, someone who, like when someone angers you, you know how to keep it in, give them another chance. We're all about second chances, because if there was no second chances, we wouldn't make it past 1 year old. It's not feasible to live in this world without having another chance. And Hashem gives us so many second chances, and when we stick to that, we learn how to connect. And we've gone through Moed Ani, understanding that Hashem gave us the world, and we acknowledge Him, we thank Him, and we know we went through a whole bunch of different segments of the tefillah that give us meaning into our lives. But in order to go into Torah, we should understand that now that we understand the makeup of ourselves, and that we are a body with a soul inside of it, and Hashem made so many wondrous things within our body for it to function properly, and He gave us the ability to make ourselves the best version of ourselves, like with preparation, with thought, with wisdom, and with protection, and all those things that He gave us. Now we could use all those tools. We could take this person that He created, and say, okay, how do I use it? Let me read the manual. Let me go through those. Let me go through these 13 midas and say, okay, I go through them. Now I could go into the Torah. Now I could go in and make myself the best person like I am. And each one of those midas are really their direction, their guides for our life. If we could learn to just go into one of them, take one of them and just study it for a day, study it for a week, and resonate with it. See, where can you apply this midah into your life? How could you become better by following the steps of Hashem? How can I change my life in a way that I'm going to weigh all of my actions and start doing exactly what Hashem would do in this situation? And what would Hashem do in this situation? And build ourselves up from there. I know I'm making this very short, but there's so much more we could go into. there's so much depth and so much understanding that we could bring to ourselves. But in any case, as we go into the Slichas days, or anytime we say Hashem Hashem, when we daven with minyan and we say Tachna, or when during a fast day when we say Hashem Hashem and we see it in the parsha, in Parsha Kisisa, in the Kriyas Torah, we could understand. Wait a second, Hashem is giving us the secrets of life. He's giving us the secrets of the world, of the universe. And as the Gemara says, when you say Hashem Hashem, the averos of a person just fade away. When we say it with minyan and we say it with thought, the sins go away. Why? Because if you go to Hashem and you say, I understand how the world works. I understand that through those traits, I could make a difference. I could change. I could become better if I truly take each one of them. No, it's a chesed la'alafim. I go and I have a friend who did a favor for me and I owe it to him forever, and I go out of my way to help him and help his children and help his grandchildren and be there for them. Yeah, just like you have a good friend and you see his grandchild walking on the street, you're going to want to help them. You're going to be there for them because you have this connection to them. Not to them, you have a connection to their grandfather. I just watched it on Shabbos. I saw two old friends, one with a walker and one with a cane, and they were standing hunched over. They were talking to each other, and they seemed to have known each other for many, many years. And one of them turned around and says, "You see this boy? That's my grandson." And this friend goes over and gives him a big shalom aleichem and tells him, "Wow, I'm telling you, your grandfather, the best guy you've ever seen. I know him for so long. He never changed. He is amazing." And he asked them, "Where do you learn? Where do you like?" He's like, "Oh, you live right next to my house. You should. Oh, you're always welcome to." Like I was like, "You don't even know this person, but you know his grandfather, right?" So when we start changing our life, when we tell Hashem, we see these 13 midos, and we want to be like you, and we're going to take these steps, these words, and learn them and make them a part of us, we will actually grow. We will change the world, and that's how our averos go away, because we tell Hashem, okay, all of my struggles, all of my problems, my car breaking down, I know how to fix it. It's not a problem, and let's merit that. Let's really work hard to make that happen. And that's my tefillah piece for this week. And I wish you all to have clarity in your tefillah. You should know to whom you're davening to and connect well and make that connection with Hashem as you pray, as you daven. And throughout every action and every thought of our day, it should be like a prayer. Everything that we do should be thinking about Hashem. What would Hashem do in this situation? And am I becoming closer to Him with my life, with everything that I do? So I wish you all the best. Thank you. Reach out to me, LemmerHypno@gmail.com. I would be glad to speak to you and work with you. And support me, buy my books. And I'm a hypnotherapist. I'd be happy to connect. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.